Have you ever wondered what it's really like to be an independent music artist? I'm here to tell you that there are a lot of different jobs you have to do. And when you look at successful artists, they have a whole team of people to do a lot of these different jobs. And today I want to unmask or reveal all the different things that you actually have to do. I found 21 different jobs that you'll have to do as an independent artist. If you want to learn what they are, please stay tuned. Number 1, your first job is instrument player. Whether you have your vocal talent, your voice, your guitar, a ukulele, a keyboard, a piano, a violin, any of these things, you need to be the master of that instrument. And when I say the master, it doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you have to play well enough to play the songs that you want to play. So keep that in mind as we go through some of the other jobs. Item number 2 is performer. You will have to get up in front of an audience and play for them. You will have to record your songs so that they can be released and streamed on the streaming platforms. There's no way of getting out of it. You're going to have to perform one way or the other. Item 3, you need to be a script writer. And for this one, when I say script writer, it seems a bit strange because I'm not making a film here. You're preparing what you're going to do during a concert. What is your set list? What are the things that you're going to talk about as you go through from one song to the next? How are you going to introduce yourself and whoever else you're playing with? These are all things that should be planned and prepared ahead of time. Item number 4 is filmmaker. And you're going to have to be both in front of and behind the camera. You will have to figure out, what do you want to film? Where do you want to film? Do you want to film outside? Do you want to film inside? What is the environment you want to have? Do you want to have a video of yourself just playing your instrument and singing? Or do you want to do something more complicated where you need maybe drone footage or help from others to film what you want to film? And it doesn't seem like film and music go that much together, but really these days you have to be a filmmaker. You need to have videos of yourself playing so people can see who you are and get to know you. Item number 5 is a photographer and a graphic artist. And this particular one, I discovered early on. Had just finished a song and I wanted to upload it to SoundCloud, and I discovered I didn't have any art to put, because that's the second question they ask you: upload your file and upload your album art. So I thought, what am I going to do? So for the first few, I just grabbed a photograph and uploaded it. But as I went on and tried to release to other platforms like Spotify, I had to meet specific requirements for the album art from a size perspective, and you have to adjust it. So then around that time I was releasing an EP, I decided to put together individual art for each song. And as more and more artists are releasing in an ongoing way and not holding back, and they're just releasing as they're ready, that approach requires art for every song that you're releasing. So Canva can become your greatest friend. For me, it's an amazing tool to do this job and many others, but for the art for your albums. And then also the other reason you need this art is because when you set up your official artist channels in Spotify or SoundCloud or Amazon Music or Apple Music, you need to have some sort of art. You need to fill in the banner, you need to have a picture that you can put in your profile, and all these things are essential to having a landing page where people can find more information about you. Related to this is the next item, number 6, is copy editor. And the copy editor is needed because you'll need to have little descriptions in all of your profiles within each of the platforms. So for each of the streaming platforms, you'll have your official artist page. You'll need to have copy or like some sort of description of who you are and where you're from and what kind of music you like to make and your experience. So it's important to have that ability to put something like that together. And then you'll use that same skill when you're putting together things. If you decide to go and have YouTube videos, or you're going to use Instagram, you're going to have some way to put together content that people can see on the screen without necessarily listening to it. Because I discovered on things like Instagram, people will just scroll through and may not have the audio on. So keep that in mind as to the importance of being a good copy editor. And there are tools like ChatGPT or others that you can use to help you put together the content. Number 7 is lighting expert. And I have been really challenged with this particular one. If you've seen some of my other videos, I often film outside because then I don't have to deal with the lighting challenges. I can just go outside. And if you have a cloudy day, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so we get a lot of cloudy days. But if you have a cloudy day, then you can just go outside and film as long as it's not raining. And this can solve your light problem. But if you want to be able to record inside, you should have some sort of light to help. And I made the mistake, I'll share with you. I went and bought a ring light. It sounded like a good idea. I put the light up, I did a bunch of filming, and then when I went back to review the film, the video, I discovered that I had little rings in my eyeglasses. And there are ways to get around that, but if I just turned my head, I would get a ring. So I just decided to abandon that. And now I have softbox lights. But knowing what kind of light you need and how to manage that is really important if you want to have quality videos. Item number 8 is you need to be a digital media manager. That means you need to manage your Instagram, your YouTube, your TikTok, and any other platforms that you want to use to share what you're working on and promote you and your music. And as that digital media manager, you need to also manage the community, because in a lot of these platforms, there's places for comments. So someone has to answer those. You're the only one available to answer it. So the job is yours. Item number 9 is songwriter. For me, this is the best of all of the jobs because I like to create new songs all the time. You need to be a storyteller and figure out how to bring someone from the beginning of your song to the end of your song. You need to put together a good melody and have good lyrics that will also keep the listener engaged. And this is a big task. I have it as one job, but within the songwriter, there's a lot of different elements you need to think about. Number 10, music producer and sound engineer. As the music producer, you need to decide, what am I going to include in this recording? Am I going to have drums? Am I going to have guitar, ukulele, voice, layers of voice, other people's voices? What are all the things that you're going to have in this final production of a song? The sound engineer side is when you do the recording, ensuring that you have the right levels for volume and making sure that you're getting the right, if you're going to add reverb or other features to the sound, that it comes together as a final product. So making sure that your end result, your song, that it's going to sound like on all the streaming platforms, that's what it's going to sound like. So you have to take real seriousness and care in putting that together. Number 11 is you're an educator. And when I say that, it means of yourself. Being a musician is a lifelong journey. I don't think anyone ever feels that they're perfect or they're good enough. And there's always more things to learn and more songs to write. Item number 12 is the need to promote yourself, your songs, your shows. If you want people to show up at your show, you need to take actions to get them to show up. So whether that's advertising in your local community on, boards, or advertising through Facebook and Instagram and other social media, or whatever other radio ad, or if you want to get really fancy, television or something like that. Think about how you want to promote your song and your show, and make a good plan for achieving that. And if you're going to release a song, you also need to think about the steps you need to do up to the release, because the release is typically you need a certain amount of lead time on that. You want to leave enough buffer that you have time to prepare for the release, communicate to people about that the release is coming, and it takes time for the distributors to get it to their, what I'll call the end destination. So if you're using something like DistroKid or other type of distributor, that you give them enough time, especially if you're doing a cover, you need a couple of weeks to get approval for those. So just keep that in mind as part of the steps in the promotion. Number 13, you need to be an event planner. If you're going to run a show, you need to know, what is your venue? How much am I going to charge for tickets? How many people can come to the show? These are just the first 3 questions I would think of, but there are many more. And you need to prepare for that and plan for that and organize it. You have to be organized. Item number 14 is you're your own roadie. So you don't have other people to come and move all your stuff, unless you have a good group of friends. Maybe they'll come help you. But otherwise, you're responsible for carrying your stuff around, your guitar, your amps, whatever you need, mic stand, whatever is required for you to play at a venue. You're going to have to be, and chords. Don't forget all the chords. So these are things that have to be thought about in advance too. So it's not just the physical labor. It kind of comes back in relation to the event planning. Number 15 is you need to be really a project and meeting manager, because of all these things that I talked about around lead times on planning for an event or planning for release of a song. You need to have a calendar so you know what is coming and when you need to start certain tasks. So managing those deadlines will help you be more successful, so you have time to promote before a song release, or you have enough time to get a venue sold out. Item number 16 is marketing expert. In order to get enough people to start streaming your songs, you need to figure out how are you going to get in front of people, and whether that's YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or other streaming platforms, you need to think about what is your strategy to get more people engaged with you as a fan. So you have to think about that. And I'm not an expert on this piece, but I know it needs to be done. Otherwise, it's going to be hard to get your numbers up on streaming. Number 17, you are your own IT expert. I just had a problem today where I was trying to connect my microphone to iMovie so that I could do this recording. And of course, nothing was working, and it works fine with GarageBand, but it wouldn't work with iMovie, and I couldn't figure out what was happening. So I had to troubleshoot and look on Google for answers. But this is a thing that takes time. I'm taking time from that, and I'm not making music, or I'm not recording music. Number 18 is becoming a smartphone expert. I have many apps that I use for looking up different songs I'd like to play, looking at evaluating my YouTube channel, and then also the most I use it for is the video and the phone for taking photographs, so that I can use those in various places. Number 19, you need to be an expert at GarageBand or Logic Pro or something similar. These are tools of the trade, and you need to know how to manipulate your music and to get out the best end result. And while I did talk about the production and sound piece, It really helps to be an expert at the tools so you know what to do. Then that brings us to number 20, which is you need to be an expert in iMovie and Final Cut Pro, because you're also going to be putting together movie clips or promos or your videos that you may want to share on YouTube with your music. The last one, we're at 21. I know it's been a long journey. 21 is you're your strategic planner and financial manager. You need to decide for yourself where to put your, if you have money that you can allocate to different things, where are you going to put it? How are you going to manage your budget? And then when you look at strategic planning, you need to think about, where am I going to put my effort? Do I put more effort on creating more songs that no one's hearing? Or do I put some effort on promoting what I have out there to try to get more listeners and figuring out tactics for that? So that's the difference between the strategy and finance. And for the number 21, keep in mind that there's no rule that says you have to do all of these. This is just a list of my experience, all the things that I've learned and stumbled upon. And if you decide one of these jobs, so-called, is not for you, you can outsource it to somebody else, or you can just not focus on that area right now if it's not that important. And it's really your journey. It's you to get to decide what kind of artist you want to be and where you want to put your focus. So I hope that this video was helpful and that you will join me in other videos.